Alright, so today TDS released the new Biologist tower. I wanted to try it out and also compare it to some other event towers that it has similarity to, which is the Jester and the Toxic Gunner. And the Biologist does kind of stick out from the rest of the event towers and towers in general because as you can see here, it has, well, only 4 range. But the interesting thing about it is that it builds up its own flowers to attack for it. So it's like the engineer, but instead of building its support by dealing damage, it just builds it over time. Hence the 4 range 0 damage. So if I place it down, here you'll see the sunflower, which deals high single target DPS. So it's really just a single target chip, kind of chip damage. It's not really anything crazy. And as you can see there, it threw it right there. 15 range and about 6 DPS for level 0. So it's honestly not bad. I mean, this thing's going to be able to defend stuff like the early game of Fallen pretty well, as you can see. Hardcore and stuff like that. I mean, there's not too much to say about it, which really you could do with like any of these towers, and they're all pretty close price. So in that regard, in the early game, they're pretty similar. And then at level 1 for $600, we get a sunflower upgrade where the damage goes to 10, it gets 15 range, the cooldown's the same, I don't know why that's there, and 100 health instead of 50. So another thing about this tower is that it also does have high health on its flowers, so it can survive like attacks and stomps and stuff like that. However, I do think that certain bosses and enemies will still be able to take out the flowers, which is unfortunate. But well, it's good compared to like the engineer, which does have the shield, but this has stun immunity as well, and the flowers will just automatically rebuild. So the engineer, where you have to like wait for it to rebuild and everything, this tower doesn't have that. And then at level 1, it also unlocks the ivy. So I also forgot to mention the sunflower. Well, the sunflower does have hidden detection, which is unlocked at level 2, but at level 1 you're basically getting lead detection with the ivy, and the damage is 8, 14 range, 100 health, 2-second cooldown, poison damage, explosion. The poison damage is 1, explosion radius is 3, 0.75 tick, 4.5 second poison length, and a little bit of slow. So here now we have the ivy, which is single target poison DPS. So here now is an ivy, and if we test this against something, I don't know why I chose this, you can see it's getting slowed down a little bit. So it does build 2 at level 0. That one just disappeared. But I mean, for like how cheap that was, and for an enemy like this fast, that was pretty good. But this costs like 1.3k. If we compare this to like the Toxic Gunner, you're paying $200 more for a level 2. And if we spawn that same enemy in, like, Toxic Gunner slows this down way more, and it just does way more damage. So if you're gonna, I would suggest probably to stay away from the ivy, just because like it does have the little bit of slow. So maybe you could get like one or a couple to help slow, and put it on like random or strongest to help chip down with the poison damage. But I mean, really, if you want to like poison crowd control, there's obviously much better options, Toxic Gunner being one of them. And the Jester also has poison, but that's not unlocked until level 3, which costs like 3k. So this is not really a fair comparison, but we can still test it. I mean, yeah, it's not even that good because Jester's poison is more of a like entrance thing. This is like, we're testing this as single target. That's not really what it's meant for. It's meant for the crowd. It's meant for crowd control. So yeah. But anyways, let's move on to level 2 now. So at level 2, we get a new flower slot. So we'll have 2 slots. The Sunflower gets another upgrade. It gets hidden detection, as I mentioned, 12 damage, 17 range. The cooldown is the same, 1.1 seconds, and more health, 200. And the Ivy gets the upgrade, lead detection, which it had before, 12 damage, 15.5 range, 1.8 second cooldown, 200 health. The explosion radius goes up to 4, poison damage goes to 2, the tick rate is the same, the poison length is the same, but the slow goes from 5% to 7.5%. So if I just test out like this, 3.2k against, let's say, against an elite abnormal, this is 2 sunflowers right now. So yeah, in the single target category there, 2 sunflowers, that's obviously gonna wipe that. But yeah, in most cases, I think it'd just be better to go for sunflowers in the early game, because you're not, but like when you're using this, it's really gonna be early, and like Ivy has the poison. You could get like 1 for the slow, as I said, but if you just want the damage, which you're probably gonna want, it's better to just go for the sunflower. So at level 3 for 4.5k, we get Sunflower upgrade, 28 damage, 19.5 range, 1 second cooldown, and 400 health. And the Ivy gets an upgrade, 25 damage, 17 range, the cooldown's the same, 400 health, 4.5 explosion radius, 4 poison damage, 0.6 tick rate, the slow is the same, and 4.5 second poison length, which is also the same. But we unlock the Nightshade, which has flying detection. So this tower does have all 3 detections. The Sunflower has hidden, the Ivy has lead, and the Nightshade does have flying. So that is one interesting thing about this tower to keep in mind, is it's going to be versatile to use due to all 3 of the detections, like similar to the Jester is supposed to be, which it has hidden in lead. And then it does 50 damage, has 30 range, but a 35 second cooldown. So it's significantly longer than the other ones, but has 400 health, and it confuses for 1 second, as you can see. So it has the same gimmick as the Jester with the confusion. So if we upgrade to that, here we have the Nightshade. Alright, so here's the Nightshade now. Looks pretty cool, actually. Okay, I don't know what the 35 second cooldown was about, because it's 3 seconds. But yeah, 30 range, so it has a giant range, and it does 50 damage. So it's meant to be like a staller, big hitter. So it's gonna be probably the best option in the late game due to the big damage it deals and to the confusion that it inflicts. Like as you can see right here, that just got shredded pretty quick. Well, but you are paying 7.7k for this. So yeah, being the final flower that is unlocked as well, it definitely can be seen why that is the last flower that is unlocked. It's a big heavy hitter that you're probably going to want to prioritize in the late game. And it should be good in most of the main game modes to help with flying enemies and those that have it. Yeah, so this tower kind of tries to cover it all. It's good to be able to slow a little bit with the Ivy and also confuse with the Nightshade. And then the max upgrade for 20k. It's a pretty big spike in the price from the rest of the upgrades, but we get a 3rd flower slot, Sunflower upgrade, 55 damage, 22.5 range, 0.8 second cooldown, and 800 health. An Ivy upgrade, 45 damage, 18.5 range, 1.5 second cooldown, 800 health, 4.5 explosion radius, 5 poison damage, 0.65 tick rate, 5.2 second poison length, and 12.5% slow. And then actually goes to 135 damage, 35 range, 2.75 second cooldown, 800 health, and 1.25 second confusion duration. So at max, honestly, it may be good to just use all 3 for the mix of the single target DPS, the confusion, and the slow. Or if you're like really in the late game, you could probably just go with Nightshades and an Ivy, or all 3 Nightshades. You also can place 8 of this tower, so keep that in mind. You can create a giant mix of the flower combinations and the flowers that you're using because of how many you can place. I mean, just look at this. I just placed it and look how many there is. So really, I would probably use a combo of something like this. So I have 1 on Nightshades and an Ivy, one all three, three nightshades, three nightshades. Most of these are just going to be on three nightshades with a couple of sunflowers, but nightshades for the main DPS and the confusion. If we just test this against like a boomer here, I mean, yeah, you can see all those nightshades shot. It's kind of going to be like a less version of the ranger. I mean, just look at that range and the big damage output, but the slow cooldown. So kind of like a ranger that deals less damage, but it also confuses. So it's pretty strong. Yeah, the Ivy with the additional slow too is helpful. The confusion. Oh yeah, another thing about this tower is it literally cannot be buffed at all due to it having like 0 damage dealing. It has cooldown, but it's just a placeholder stat. It does nothing, and the range does nothing. So yeah, that's a disadvantage of it over other towers, but it's not really that big of a deal. It can also be an advantage because you can use it supportless, so, and it will be the exact same. But I mean, as you can see, it did pretty good against that. When you're combining this with other towers, it honestly should be pretty strong and can hold its own pretty well. I honestly really like this event tower. I'd probably rank it pretty high out of all the event towers. Part of it is just using it properly, which is usually difficult with gimmicky towers like this. I think it has potential to be used for some interesting stuff, or at least be like pretty usable within the meta. But let me know what you guys think of the tower, and I'll see you in the next one.